Previously on
Right,
Ballz.
Stuart Baxter joining us on Ballz Radio now this afternoon. How are you doing, Stewie?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Nice to chat to you again. Last time we had an opportunity to chat was when you were coaching Bafana. Now you're back and with Kaiser Chiefs. So nice to have you back in South Africa again.
Thank you.
And
Thank
involved in our football with one of our top sides, and some big business to get done this weekend.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we've got a. It seems like that we only play big games at the moment, you know. So it's no time to think too much about it. Just get on with the job.
As far as your squad, looking ahead to the season coming up, still early days yet. But are you happy with the squad that you've got? Are you still looking to add more players, or do you reckon that there are trophies in the offing for Chiefs this year with the players you've got?
I think everything's relative, isn't it? You know, we've got a squad that I believe an improved squad. I'm not sure that we've got the perfect balance in the squad yet, but the players have worked exceptionally hard, and they've earned the right to hear their coach say he's pleased with the squad. So I think, you know, there's never a perfect world, and I think clubs like Chiefs or top teams in any league in the world always monitor the markets. So to be honest to our fans and to be honest to the players and everybody that supports Chiefs, then we have to keep monitoring the market. But the players have worked exceptionally hard, and I'm pleased with where they are at the moment.
Well, one of the teams that obviously keep a big eye on the market and trade in there quite effectively and vigorously are a side you're coming up against this weekend, and no doubts will be a side that you'll be chasing from a point of view of league honours as well this year. They'll be up there, and that's Sundowns.
Yeah, and I think it's been good information for me playing against. We played Pirates last week, and we got Sundowns this week. And as you say, you know, it's going to be two of the teams that are going to be up there, and when it comes to the finishing line, they're not going to be far away. So I think it's a good measure for us to see where we are and where we can pitch our own ambitions.
Yeah. Apart from the big three, obviously Sundowns, Chiefs and Pirates, we saw Swallows coming through last season again. Granted, I think Gordon Egerson had a lot to do with their resurgence, and he's gone now. We know Zeka Marx is now in charge, and he's had a long history with Swallows anyway, so he knows the club. Do you see them and obviously the perennial SuperSport Uniteds being up there, or do you see any other surprise packages coming this season?
No, I think what you know about any league in the world is that there's always going to be one team that disappoints, that's been tipped, and there's always going to be one team that comes through and surprises everybody. And I think the ones that you've mentioned, potentially. I mean, SuperSport are a well-organised side. Gavin always does a good job with them. As you say, Swallows had a resurgence under Gordon. I think the new coaching staff have done a good job, and they're going to carry that on. So there are going to be 3 or 4 teams that will feel that they have the potential, and then they need a little bit of luck at the right time, and as do we all. But yeah, I think it's certainly going to be more than just the as you call them, the big 3. But I don't see it as just being a 3-horse race at all. It's going to be much wider.
Yeah, it's amazing how in the PSL in particular, it's not necessarily the big teams playing against each other that sometimes determine the outcome of the league. But time and time again, we see the big boys losing and stumbling against some of the so-called minnows. It happens a lot in this league, and those are the games you've got to look out for.
Absolutely, and it's not just this league. I mean, Manchester United lost the championship effectively by losing points at Wigan.
Can you say that again, please, Stuart? It sounds fantastic.
I detect there's a Manchester United supporter in the studio.
She's not with us at the moment, but it's nice to hear it anyway.
No, but you know that is the case, and you're right to mention that point, because I think I've heard many times since coming to Chiefs that we do have issues with playing against the teams that on paper we should beat. But there is no games won or lost on paper. That's my experience. You've got to get out on the field, and it's got to be a mixture of inspiration and perspiration. And if you can't muster that, then you're probably going to run the risk of getting beaten by anybody.
I want to ask you, because I think it was mid-2000s when we last had you in the country, and now you're back here. I know you were involved from a national point of view, but would have kept an eye on what was going on domestically in the PSL back then. Yeah. How much has South African soccer grown up in the years that you've been away from South Africa?
Well, I think in terms of the organisation of the league, I can see a definite development. In terms of the standard of the players, I think you've got a broader pool of players where you've got better players at each club. What I think we're still striving for, and what the challenge for all of the clubs is to start producing those outstanding players. You know, the ones that developed into a Benny McCarthy at his best, or where the next Stephen Pienaar is coming from, or the next Sean Bartlett. You know, those players. Our challenge is to bring through some of the improved players have got to take that next step, and I think that's the challenge that South African football has.
Yeah, I mean, is our league at a point where we can actually start producing without having to see our players going over to the European leagues, that we can start producing players here in South Africa that we can consider to be like, I'm not just talking world class, because we do produce world class players here, but players that can be considered to be close to the upper echelon of world class. In other words, really good players that can be looked at from around the world and paid big money by clubs to go there.
Yeah, I think you're always going to lose the best, the creme de creme. You're always going to lose them to the bigger leagues. I think that's inevitable. But what we can do, I mean, we can battle with the leagues that are not the absolute top of the tree. You know, we can battle with them.
Yeah. And
I think the crux of the matter is our development strategies in this country. You know, I think we need to look at that very carefully, and we need to, each and every club and the football association need to cooperate and have a very clear strategy on how South African youngsters will get the education that they need, the playing time that they need, the support that they need, and they will get opportunities to play in competitive leagues when they need it. So I think we have to do all those things, and I think that is the key to the next surge in South African football.
Well, we hope we have a much longer tenure here of Stuart Baxter. It's great to have you back in South Africa again.
Thank you.
A really good footballing brain that you do have, and we know that you're going to contribute very positively to our football and our PSL here in South Africa. We wish you all the best with Chiefs this year. Before we let you go, Stu, we just want to find out, obviously you'll be keeping an eye on what happens in the Premiership this year as well. How do you see that going, with all the toing and froing in the market and the lack of teams buying certain players, and Liverpool only managing to beat Gommel 1-0? I think that was one of the teams you say that failed last year again in the league.
Excuse you.
they did, and even though Kenny's a good friend of mine, I'd have to say they did. You know, and beating Gommel 1-0. I have to say that when I was in Stockholm, we played them in the Champions League. We beat them 3-0 at their place. So the mighty Liverpool should have crushed them.
Yeah.
I think Man City are gonna. They're going to be the team to beat. I think they're going to improve on what they were last year.
You mean Arsenal old boys?
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't mention that to Arsene, because that is a very sore.
No.
I'll tell you. But no, I think they are. I think Arsenal will be one of the ones pushing them. I think Chelsea will be one of the ones pushing them. I think that Man United may have a tougher time to take revenge than they think at the moment. You know, I think everybody's expecting United to sort of bite back. You know, the empire bites back.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a lot tougher than they think, because I think that the other teams have improved. Arsenal will be a much different proposition. Chelsea will go for it, and I think there's going to be a few teams up there battling.
So, but the usual suspects we will see fighting it out at the death once again.
Well, I don't see Swansea doing it. No, and I think you're going to be back down to the usual culprits.
Look, I think Swansea are still celebrating the fact that they stayed up, and a damn good job as well. I mean,
they should do as well, because it was a fantastic job Brendan did.
Well, they're one of those sides we were talking about earlier that almost cost Man City. I mean, barring those last 2 minutes of the Premiership, had Man City lost out, they would have looked at that Swansea game and fingered that one as the one that cost them.
Yeah, and it would have been another one of the bottom teams. With all due respect to Sunderland, who would have put the trophy at Old Trafford if it had been a couple of minutes different.
Fabulous football season ahead, both in the Premiership, but really looking forward to the PSL. And as we said, Stu, welcome back to South Africa and all the best with Chiefs this year. Look forward to chatting to you again sometime during the season.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much.
See you soon.
Cheers, Stu. Bye-bye. There's Stuart Baxter joining us on Ballz Visual Radio.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za. Ballz.co.za.